to sculpting, what kind of do you take from graffiti as kind of your inspiration when you try to create something organic?
Oh, wow. Well, inspiration is a plethora of contemporary and modernist influences and some classical influences that, but all based in sculpture, architecture, mainly 3D stuff, because I always saw graffiti's benefit in its feeling of being three-dimensional in the form and the movement. And I used to paint a lot, but once I started making sculpture, it was kind of just took me over, and so that's what I do now.
Screaming that's not when I pulled off the lot, that's done. Right in my town, when you see me, you know everything. Black and yellow, black and yellow, black and yellow, black and yellow. I put it down from the whip to my diamonds. I'm in black and yellow, black and yellow, black and yellow, black and yellow.
Your graph is always about music.
Yeah,
right, and everything.
Well, especially early on, like I used to just bang out to like, that's the thing about urban culture that I'm trying to unearth too a little bit, is like, it intersects so many different places that when someone's like, oh, this is just this form, or you have to love this kind of music to paint graffiti, I mean, that's all just like silly. It's like, all those things have cross-pollinated each other on such a level, like skateboarding, graffiti art, hip-hop, punk rock, hardcore, and then even in my influence base, like, more like funk music, you know, psychedelic rock, like, were so broad. I mean, you know, they were just open-minded. How about it? You know, like, it's not that tough. It's actually a lot easier to be open-minded than it is to be closed-minded. You have to, like, put all that armor on, and it's all heavy to carry around. It's like, I don't know, it's good, it's good. It's not, everybody knows.
Black stripe, yellow paint. I hear they scared of it, but them pros ain't. Soon as I hit the club, look at the move face. Hit the pedal once, make the floor shake. Sway inside.
How did you, I mean, of course, I can't help to think that the metalwork, you know, with its rusting, and it feels so Pittsburgh. I don't know.
About that. It's all about that. I mean, I'm from the east end of Pittsburgh. I mean, I'm from a blue-collar family of steel workers, coal miners. A lot of the artists here work in steel, like, you know, predecessors to me, like...
My engine roaring, it's the big boy, you know what I paid for it. And I got the pedal to the metal, got you out here checking game, I'm balling out on every level.
I love graffiti. I'm not so crazy about what mass media is doing with it right now, but it's like, I really dig a lot of the people who are real purists and are sticking with it. I really respect what they're doing, and that influence base is always going to be in my work.
Hear them haters talk, but there's nothing you could tell them. Just made $1 million, got another $1 million on my schedule. No love for them, boy, I'm breaking hearts. No keys, push to start. Yeah, you know what it is.
I love the fact that, like, when you look at one of your pieces, you can, I still see kind of that street urban connection.
Sure.
And I'm just wondering, kind of, you know, if you still kind of incorporate some of Prism.
Absolutely.
Into.
Says it, in fact. So yeah, I mean, the whole deal is, like, I'm not trying to catch a felony for painting. It's annoying. 3 years ago, I just made a conscious decision to, like, go.
3 years ago, that's it.
Yeah, I mean, I painted for 20 years. I mean, easy. Like, you know, like, get pretty near that. In fact, I painted in Seattle, Washington 1.5 years ago, and it was like, you know, they made me do it. I lost the fire for it, but I gained the fire for this. I mean,
everything I do it big. Yeah, screaming that's not when I pulled off the lot, that's done. Right in my town, when you see me, you know everything. Black and yellow, black and
welder, I was scared it was gonna make me blind, so I like turned it off, and I'm like, yo, I can't do that. And then he's like kept edging at me. And the first project I did was with Rick Bach and Fab Beulah, who are obviously known for their metal craft, at the brew house, and that was in 1997 is when I started making metal stuff.
Yellow, black and yellow, black and yellow. I put it down from the whip to my diamonds. I'm in.
That's from molten metal, where I've been very lucky to hook up with a few local artists. Ed and Carly Parrish really turned me on to this, because they really thought my work would go in a different direction, and then I took it really seriously, which they assumed I was going to, and I started meeting them at events all over the Northeast, and even flying back from Miami, and then I made another network of people out of that, and I've been really getting into it, and I'm starting to build my own equipment, and but the facility for this is insane. So mainly there are colleges, so you go and you work as a professional artist alongside of students, and
You give them the benefit of your experiences, and they give you the benefit of labor.
Yellow, black and yellow, black and yellow, black and yellow. Got a call from my jeweler, this just in. And women love me cause I'm messing with their best friends. Not a lesbian, but she a freak though. This ain't for one night, I'm shining all week, bro. I'm sipping Clico and rocking yellow diamonds. So many rocks up in my watch, I can't tell what the time is. Got a pocket full of big faces.
I mean, like, you know, I kind of am just, you know, somebody presents a medium to me that interests me and I want to try it. I think that graffiti is always going to be an underlying influence. How could it not be? Just with the amount of content that was done and my passion for it for all those years, and it being how I learned how to draw. I mean, even in my designing, I hid letters and all kinds of things in places that I wrote about and never released. And, you know, would take a couch from B&B Italia and look at an Ono Rock piece, for example. That was just one example. And throw in a blender and boom, out comes these couches that we designed. Or, you know.
Throw it up cause everybody that I'm with, Taylor. Yeah, you know what it is. Everything I do it big. Yeah.
What did you get into this business for?
This?
Yeah.
Because what else is there to do? I don't know. That's really a good question because, I mean, you really put me on the spot with that. It was just an accident in some ways. I don't try to use that word, but like really, I don't know how I got into this. And I think that that's half of what makes it so legitimate is like, I try to get out of these things way. Like, I'm just channeling stuff that's coming to me. That's real, you know? So that's the whole thing. I think this is really just naked. It's not, I don't have some like agenda necessarily with this. I obviously when I'm making it, I mean, I don't even know where it comes from. This is all stream of consciousness completely. Like, I hardly ever even draw any of this sculpture. I just make it. And I just try to seriously not screw it up and get in the way with my, you know, my humanness, or to want to try to control things. I try to be like,
Screaming that's not when I pulled off the lot, that's done. Rep in my town, when you see me, you know everything. Black and yellow, black and yellow, black and yellow, black and yellow. I put it down from the whip to my diamonds. I'm in black and yellow, black and yellow, black and yellow, black and yellow. Stay fly like I'm supposed to do. That crowd underneath them clouds can't get close to you.